There's a subject I want to talk about. It's about kind of turning you back around, because what most people do is they try to get love out there when really it starts in here, and I'll explain that in a second. Okay, be right back with that, and we'll go. Hopefully, it'll be about 3 or 4 minute video. We'll go right into. I'm gonna read something I wrote in a blog, and I also posted on Facebook. So this is the gist of it. Okay. By the way, my Facebook business page is Mike Colleen's Dating Relationship Coaching at Cracked Female Code. I might change that because I'm going into more of a personal development mode, because that's really what I am, a personal development coach. Okay, so this is the way it works. Whatever you think or feel about yourself is what others will feel or think about you. That is the way it works. That's the secret, and that's where most people misunderstand. It's like, let me read a little more. So, if you are kind and compassionate and loved yourself, others will feel that when they're around you, and thus they'll experience that light or that energy in that way while they're around you. So it works the other way. So if you don't like yourself, if you hate yourself, people are going to feel that too, and unconsciously they're going to be it's like they're getting caught up in your attitude, your energy, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So here's how it works. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so number one, here's what most people do, and this is where they're effing up. Because we all want to be happy. We all want to feel loved. We all want to be loved. We all want to be appreciated and all that good stuff. Okay, so here's how it works. So most people try to go out, and what they do, and I think a lot of pickup artist courses do this, is they teach you techniques on how to get them to like you. Wrong. That is totally the wrong way. That's what people have been doing in society for thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. And the concept that I introduced to most of my clients is kind of like, what would that do? It's a different way of fishing. Okay, so here's what I mean. When you truly learn how to appreciate yourself, and really there's probably two main words, be compassionate toward yourself and be loving toward yourself. So let's say you made a mistake. Instead of going, oh, I'm an idiot, and that's what most people will do. There's a being inside you. So there's so many different ways. We could say there's a spirit, a soul inside you. There's your inner child. I remember years ago, here I was paying to go to all these seminars on all this new age psychology and energy healing, and they're talking about this inner child. I'm like, oh God, inner child, it's bullshit. Because I was such an external person, that the whole idea of this internal world was just like, what are you talking about? And here I was paying them to teach me techniques to help me heal, to overcome my fear, my anxiety, all that kind of stuff, right? And I was basically saying, whatever. So here's what happened. Over years and years of time, working with clients and beginning to discover this for myself, was one day I thought, well, what can it hurt? So I started to be kind to myself. I started to be patient with myself. I had a particular teacher who really spent time with me saying, look, you seriously need to spend time with yourself. And you need to stop saying, oh, I'm an idiot. Why did I do that? You need to start being like, hey, you made a mistake. No big deal. We'll get it next time. Just like a coach would, right? So here's the deal, what I'm really trying to express. Inside you is a being, we'll call it. It could be, here's a scientific way of looking at it for the logical guys or women. You got the logical left brain, then you have the right brain. Now, I've said this before, this is very scientific. The left brain is a linear processor. It's the external, goes in the line processor. The right brain is the five senses processor. It's about inside your emotions, inside your feelings, inside your body, right? And that's what I'm talking about. So you could say this is one being, and this is the other person, one person and the other person, okay? Here's the thing. This is the inside person. When you say, I'm an idiot, I'm dumb, why would you do something so stupid? You're literally punishing that thing inside you. Now, here's the thing. That thing inside you is wide open, especially to you. And it's looking for love from you. That's important. I'm going to say it again. It's looking for love from you. Not her, not that person, not that girl over there, not that. That's where most people screw up. And this is why as you get older, you begin to suffer more and more and more, because this inner being is the other side of you. And it is literally like a little child. And we're talking like 6 months old, 12 months old, and it's looking to its parent for love. You are its parent, not some strange woman you just met or some person that you think is handsome or hot or whatever. And that's what we do. We take our heart, our soul, literally, and we put it in their hands and say, love me. And now you feel powerless. You feel totally helpless because it's at their whim. What they can punish you, they can hurt you. Here's the worst part about it. This is a child that you're giving to a total stranger or to another person, and it's not their job to make you happy. Now, no, I remember the first time I heard that, I didn't want to hear that. I did not want to hear that. I wanted to hear, like, I'm going to find someone that will love me. Well, what is me? Me is that inner child. The inner child that's getting its heart ripped out, and its guts ripped out, and it's emotionally being damaged by other people because it's not their job. It's your job. Now watch what happens. Now watch this. Here's where things flip around in a positive way. When you take that child back inside you, when you begin to bond with it, we'll say, earn its trust, because at this point in time it doesn't trust you anymore because it's like, that dude's abandoned me, and now it comes on, hey, how's it going? I love you. And you're like, and it's going, all right, like, you haven't even paid attention to me for 20 years. You love me. What are you talking about? If you let a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife abuse that inner child or another person, what are you telling the world? What are you telling other possible partners, spouses, wives, girlfriends, husbands? You are showing them, I don't even take care of myself. I don't even protect myself. What makes you think I'm going to protect you? And that's a concept a client of mine was like, I never thought of that. I go, yeah. I go, women are looking at you and they're seeing if you have self-compassion and self-love. And if you do, they're going to be like, oh, that's a very compassionate, loving guy. Oh, I'll go around him, because women tend to be more emotional or more open to their emotions, not all the time. And when they're in a relationship, though, they want to open up to emotionally. And if you're the self-punishing guy, well, you're going to punish her too when she opens up. And then she's got to close up around you. And that's not a relationship. A relationship is when you're open up to technically your right brain, your emotions. And that's where you connect emotionally and you get to know each other on a deeper level. All right? So here's the cool thing. When you start to love yourself, when you start to have compassion for yourself, when you literally say positive things to yourself, all of a sudden people start treating you better. And this is what this video is all about. This is the point. This is the purpose. When you love yourself, when you're patient with yourself, when you're kind with yourself, all of a sudden people around you start to treat you better. It's a gradual process. Now, I'll tell you how it started with me. I remember one day years ago, I was going through a really hard time. I was in the bathroom looking in the mirror, and I was really hurt. And I just said, I love you. And I couldn't even look myself in the eye. I couldn't even do it that first probably 6 times to 7 times. But I noticed something inside like started to feel better. And I remember I could barely say I love you, and I think I said I'm doing the best I can, and that's what made it feel better. I was like, okay, that's weird. No one's ever said to say that. And then I started doing it more and more and more, and that's one thing I knew. Someone says you can't just do it once or twice, dude. You got to do it consistently because it's a child. It needs consistency. I bet parents have heard that before. Your child needs consistency. You can't have a rule one day and then not follow it the next day. There's got to be consistency. Same thing with yourself. Same thing with your inner child. So the whole journey of this is when you're hurt, go lay down in bed, go sit on the couch and just spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes with yourself. And it's like you're holding that inner child. It's literally like a baby. And that's how sensitive it is. And you begin to see other people like this, the more you find that yourself is that, wow, there's like another being in there. What the hell is this? Call it your right brain. I don't care. Because these two brains are two totally different personas. This is the logical person. This is the emotional, creative, spiritual person. Okay? Call it a spirit. Call it a soul. I don't really care what you call it. I don't care if you're religious or not religious or spiritual or not spiritual. The point is every teaching teaches there's this thing inside. And when you begin to love it and connect with it and pay attention to it, it starts to work with you. And you start to slowly get things in life that you've always wanted. Better friends, better treatment, more money, everything. That is the biggest. Now, here's the thing. I bet you've heard people talk about this. You've probably even read this in books. Probably even heard Tony Robbins talk about it and all the greats, right? You didn't get it. When you start doing it with yourself and you start looking in the mirror, you start spending time curled up in a ball when you're hurting. It's like you're holding your emotions and you're crying and you're hurting. That thing inside starts to heal and it starts to trust you. The thing is you're the one that has to do it. You can't wait for your partner, your spouse, that hot girlfriend that you want to date, because then if I'm with her, I'll feel all better. Well, I stop right there. That's right there. Then you'll feel all better. That tells you right there, this thing doesn't feel better. So you're looking for an outside source to make you feel better, and that's where you're screwing up. That will never work. It'll never work. How old are you right now? 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50? How old are you? And that's what you've been doing your whole life. And are you still hurting inside? Now you know why. You have to love you. And all of a sudden, everyone around you starts to get around this energy. And let me add this last piece, because this is a really cool thing. Think of it as a water heater. When I was a little kid, the water heater used to be in the garage. I remember one day, it was summer day, it was nice and warm, like it is today, by the way. It's in the 90s. And I'm going outside after this video. And I remember when I walked in the garage, it felt kind of hot. I was like, why is it so hot out here? And then I walked closer and closer to the hot water heater. I was like, whoa, that thing's free. Like, you could feel the heat emanating off of it, right? Now imagine it's freezing cold. It's literally like a freezer. It's ice. So when I get closer and closer, what am I going to feel? I'm going to feel cold. That's what it's like with humans. Whatever you're feeling inside is what they're going to feel when they come around you. And they're going to interact with you in that way. Does that make sense? So if you have love and compassion, they're going to connect with that vibe and have love and compassion towards you. And with you, I should say. They're going to come into that energy, that space, that emotion, whatever you want to call it. That's what I'm trying to say. And so if you have the self-hate towards yourself, other people are going to have self-hate. I put a blog up. In fact, I'll put it in a link here. And the image here, let me pull it up right now. In fact, I'll put the image in here. It says, "You hate me? Haha, I hate me too." And it shows basically a guy looks like a homeless person, and he's like this. I'll put it in the video. And when I saw it, I go, God, that's so true. It's like, you hate me? Yeah, I hate me too. They hate you because you hate you. When you love you, they'll love you because you love you. That's the way it works, and that's what I'm trying to say. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at Mike Colleen, MikeKollin.com. Hope this video helps you. Start applying it and notice your life will change over time. It works.